What's up, guys? This is RachelMarieSports, and I am excited to present to you another episode of You Ain't Lying, a fun interview series to shed some light on some fellow Detroit Lions YouTubers. Today, I'm happy to tell you guys that I have a special guest with me, the one and only, one of the founding fathers of the Detroit Sports Alliance, and one of the biggest Lions fans that I know, Mr. Luke G. What's up, Luke?
What's going on? I am so excited for this. Y'all don't even understand. Like y'all don't get how excited I am to actually be doing this. When I first saw her do it, I was excited about it. When she was like, I want to do it with you, I was even more excited about it.
Awesome. Well, we are happy to have you. And before we get started, let's let Luke tell you guys where you can find him and how you can watch his content on YouTube.
Well, first of all, if you go to YouTube, you just type in Luke, like the name sound, G with an apostrophe S, Field Review. You can also find me on Twitter at FieldGs. I got a Discord. It's linked in my description, so there's not like a way to get there other than to click on that link. And you can also, I'm working on this whole thing of IG, which I think that's what they call Instagram. Don't at me, okay? But at Luke G's Field Review on Instagram.
Perfect. We're going to go ahead and hop right into these questions then. You ready, Luke?
I'm ready. Let's do it. All
right, let's start. First question, how long have you been a Lions fan?
1980. So since birth. What basically happened was my family is all pretty much like Steelers fans, and except for my dad, he's a Lions fan. And so you anytime and point in time you would see my dad, he would have on a Lions jersey and everybody else would have on Steelers jersey, no matter what was on TV. And I just thought it was so cool that my dad was willing to be like the Lone Ranger and to be the one to be like, nope, I'm gonna like this team. This is my team in my city, my hometown, and I just stuck with it.
Okay, so your dad kind of made you the Lions fan that you are today.
He got the ball rolling, and then this thing as I got older, this thing called Barry Sanders, and it got it going even further. So I was like, look, if you could make a person miss, like I think it was one game against the Buccaneers, and he made like 4 people miss, and they all just was standing there, and I was like, how? And I fell in love ever since.
Yeah, I mean, watching Barry, there's no better way to fall in love with Lions football, I would say.
Yeah, no, Barry's the best. Like, listen, Barry made people who didn't know they were football fans because what he did was so amazing.
Absolutely, he was definitely something special. And are you originally from Detroit? And do you live there now?
Yes, born and raised in Detroit, still in Detroit, and loving every bit of it. People always talk about the bad that happened in this city, but I think that's a misrepresentation. So yes, born and raised in Detroit, live in Detroit, not going nowhere. This is the city that I love. This is where I was born at, and I've been perfectly fine here. So yeah, I'm staying.
That's awesome. I love that you represent the city so hard. You know, my parents were born and raised in Detroit too, so they have a lot of love for the city as well. And what is your favorite part about being a Lions fan?
It's crazy because it's like I'm a Lions fan, but I'm a fan of football first. So, like, it's the football part of it that I like. To me, football is like a puzzle. You know that a team can be good, but why are they good? Is it just that they got good players? Is it that they got a good coach? Is it a mixture of both? You know, what is making these things happen? And so that is what got me to falling in love with it. And once I started playing the game of football, it just made it even more of a love for me. So I guess if I had to narrow it down in terms of like my favorite thing about being a Lions fan is being able to see a problem and know that there's a solution to it. Like most fans jump on teams who are already winning. With the Lions, for me, it wasn't about they were already winning. It was about when they were winning and when they wasn't, and seeing how you fix it. And if you're winning, how do you sustain that to keep them winning? So those little pieces of the puzzle is what I fell in love with, and that's why I just absolutely love it. Just from the football standpoint, the X's and the O's, and the trying to figure it out part of it is just it's the best part of it. I think the Lions are a team that has a history, but that history doesn't define them.
Absolutely, and it's definitely a game of strategy. Now, you mentioned that you played football yourself. What position did you play?
High school, I played defensive end, D tackle, linebacker, fullback, and then in college, I played linebacker and fullback.
Wow, so you were a jack of all trades.
Yeah, plus I went to a school where we didn't have the biggest team, so sometimes you needed somebody to roll in there, and I was more than willing to roll in there as long as it involved contact. I was good with it. So yep.
That's awesome. I like, obviously being a female fan, I don't have that angle, that I played the game angle. So I definitely respect a lot of your opinions that you say on the round table, because I know that you've been out there, doing it yourself. And so a lot of what you say, I take to heart, knowing that you have that type of experience behind you.
Yeah, I mean, you ever heard that like quote where they be like, those who can do and those who don't teach? Where I was able to do it and I can still teach it. And it's one of the things that when you look at some of the veterans who are now leaving football, they're taking control of their own platforms. I mean, if you go and look at Glover Quinn, he started his own YouTube channel. It's more of a control of his own platform, but he was a guy who was able to do it and still go ahead and teach it. So for me, it was being able to man, look, my son getting excited for you. Hear that? But for me, it was more of being able to take my experiences and things that I've learned and saying, okay, let's talk football, because there are things that people are not going to look at, or the casual fan doesn't understand. So to me, that's what it boiled down to for me to be able to talk about it.
Yeah. Absolutely. And I mean, all that to be said, my next question is, what's your least favorite part about being a Lions fan?
My least favorite part about being a Lions fan, in all honesty, is the fans themselves sometimes, because I feel like our fan base has been beaten up so much that we can get a certain way. But to me, when you talk to the average Lion fan, they act so embarrassed about, unfortunately, I'm a Lions fan. Or my favorite, I guess I gotta say the Lions, I guess. It's like, what do you mean? Like, why? Don't be ashamed of it. Like, what is there to be ashamed of? Like, the process of it, like, of this team is going to always be there. And so it's hard talking football with people who is already defeated. And they have a defeated mindset. So that's got to be the least part of it. Like Golden State wasn't always Golden State. The Chicago Bulls wasn't always the Chicago Bulls. New England wasn't always New England, and so forth and so on. The 49ers wasn't the 49ers. The Cubs wasn't the Cubs. You know what I mean? So you have to be able to take appreciation in your team, win, lose, or draw, but be objective and realistic about it. So I hate talking to people who act so ashamed of this team, but watch every Sunday, buy all the merchandise, and then when it comes time for to show your pride, it's, unfortunately, I was born into a Lions fan. I don't like that.
Right. I mean, it's kind of like you want them to own that loyalty, because that's one of the cool things about the Lions fan base is that, we're here, and it's not like we've done a lot of winning in recent history, but we're still here. And I think that makes the Lions fan base kind of dope. I mean, we really are ride or die.
Right. I mean, and you got to look at it like this too. Your football team, to me, at least that's how I look at it. Your football team, if you just feeling like you just can't help but be truthful about it, look at it like it's your children or your dog or something, right? Like, they're not gonna always make you happy. Like, I remember trying to potty train my son, and he sat on the potty for minutes upon minutes and did not pee. And as soon as he stood up, peed all over me. See what I'm saying? I was disappointed, but it's still my son. And so I look at the Lions and go, yeah, you're gonna be disappointed, but it's your team. That's something nobody can take from you. So you should take pride in it. Absolutely.
I cannot agree with you more. And I think we talk about that pretty often on the round table, that sometimes Lions fans are the Lions' worst enemies.
Yes. Yeah, it's the worst part about it is it's like I don't like how this fan base, as soon as somebody leave, they the enemy of the team. Now your pride is at 10. As soon as the person leave, they the enemy. Sue leave, he was garbage anyway, right? Luke leave the Lions, he was terrible, but when they hear they're phenomenal, and to me it's just like, listen, let's keep that same energy, that same pride, no matter what, because you want to be able to understand that, one, it's lion pride. That's the thing of it. It's a pride of lions. And the key thing about pride is that enjoyment, that underlying agreement that this is what you love.
Yeah. And note to all the Lions fans out there. You guys listening to Luke, we gotta step it up, Be loud and be proud to be a Lions fan. And Luke, are you a fan of all Detroit sports?
Yes, yes. Listen, at one point I used to buy tickets to every Detroit sporting event that I could, and if it's Tigers, I watch it. I go to the Tigers games. If it's Red Wings, I go to the Red Wings games. Pistons, I go to the Pistons game. When we had the Detroit Sparks, I used to go to the Detroit Sparks games. And if it's Lions, I go to the Lions games. I support Detroit in anything positive that pertains to Detroit.
Yeah, that's definitely the way to be. And I do love this next question because I find some funny answers come out of it. Do you have any superstitions or traditions that you stick to during a season?
Okay. Okay. So one of the traditions that I do is I literally have to watch the game with nobody around me or on mute. I just don't want to hear what they're saying because I feel like the commentators can sway your opinion. I like to just see what happens and make up my own opinion. And in terms of superstitions, I really do my best to do this, but I noticed I used to bet a lot. I would not bet on a Lions game because every time I bet on the Lions, they won. But if I bet they were going to lose, because based on what I was seeing, they would win. And if I bet that they were going to win, they lost. So I just said if I don't bet, my chances went up in my head. So yes, I do that from time to time, but I preferably like to watch the game with no sound. Okay,
yeah. I sometimes every now and then I will hedge bet, bet on the other team just in case, because if we lose, I make some money. If we win, I'm happy that we won and I don't care about the money, right?
Right. That's a good way to do it. If you figure if you in a situation where you're happy either way, you can't lose. Yeah, that's how you should do it.
That's what I like to think, at least, because I've had my heart broken one too many times. I used to bet on the Lions, and that never worked out for me, so I had to give that up.
Listen, I can tell you this as a quick story. So I used to play fantasy football, right? So this would be like my first or second year playing, I think it was. I can't remember, but I had Calvin Johnson. I'm sorry, no, I didn't have Calvin. My opponent had Calvin Johnson. And I had, I think it was Lito Shepherd or something. They was going against the Eagles. And Calvin was killing them. I mean, destroying the Eagles. I'm like, oh my God, get him, Calvin. Get him, right? And mind you, I got money on the line. So I'm so excited because Calvin Johnson is going off. The Lions are winning. And so I sent a message to the guy that I'm in the league with. And I go, yeah, you saw that? I told you the Lions are going to win. And he was like, yeah, I'm glad they did because I had Calvin start. And I was like, what? And from that day forth, I refuse to play fantasy football. I cannot enjoy a game and root for the team knowing that I'm losing money on the back end. So it's hard for me to enjoy anything pertaining to fantasy. But yeah, it's in the terms of being able to say, okay, yeah, I got this great thing going on this end, but then on the other end it's not happening. I couldn't do it. So I would not. I despise fantasy football.
Yeah, fantasy is certainly not for everybody. I know I had to cut down on my fantasy teams because I was trying to managed too many and it just became such a headache. I realized that I wasn't fully enjoying my Sundays the way that I should be watching the football games. So I definitely had to cut back on that a little bit. But on the topic of different players, this is kind of a dual question. Who's your favorite Lions player of all time? And do you have any Lions jerseys? If so, how many?
Okay, favorite player of Lions all time. Okay, I know everybody gonna be like, it's gotta be Barry, but it really wasn't. My favorite player of all time was Herman Moore. I just thought, God, this guy knows how to get the ball, and I always enjoy his game. Like, I always enjoy what Herman Moore brought to the Lions, and so he was my favorite all the time. I love Barry. I'm not saying I love Herman more than Barry or anything, but for me, the work ethic and the fact that you had a Barry Sanders, it helps when you can take the top off and you can get that catch. So Herman Moore was a guy that I remember when I met as a kid. He was so nice, and it was like, wow, cool. He was like the first NFL player I ever met. So it was really cool to meet him, and the fact that he was good, I really enjoyed Herman Moore. Jerseys, I have 5 jerseys. So the 5 jerseys that I have is in Ndamukong Suh, because you can't tell me nothing about Ndamukong Suh. This guy was amazing.
I agree.
Shawn Rogers is the other one I have. I was a huge Shawn Rogers fan. And I have Barry. Obviously, you gotta have a Barry jersey. And the last jersey that I got was one that I honestly thought that he would be the next best running back since Barry, and that's Javid Best.
Yeah, gosh, he had so much potential. It was so sad to see him go down like that.
Yeah, Javid Best to me did exactly what Barry did. When Barry was in the backfield, you better load the box and you better respect it. When Javid was in the backfield, you didn't know if he was going out for a pass. If you did go out for a pass, he had enough agility to make you miss, and that one miss with the speed was unheard of. So those were the 4 jerseys that I got. I always go with the defensive guys. I'm a defensive player myself, so I tend to lean more towards the defensive players. But yeah, Best was the truth.
Yeah, I have a jersey collection myself, but I have the offensive players. I think I'm starting to become a little bit more of a defensive girl myself too, though. Like I can feel myself kind of switching over that way gradually. So we'll see who I get this coming Christmas, because I keep asking for one every Christmas.
You know, you can be a defensive girl. Like, you can be a defensive girl, and I can tell you like all the best ones to get jersey wise. The one jersey that I really wanted and I never got was Stephen Tulloch. I really wanted Stephen Tulloch's jersey. One, because we wore the same. That 55 that he wore is what I wore in high school. So I wanted that 5.5 bad. But I never got it.
Yeah, I loved that he went on to put out, I believe it was a book called The Littlest Linebacker. I thought that was really awesome. I know he was kind of trying to, I know he was a big factor in the community as well. So that would have been an awesome jersey to have. All right, so we know that you're a passionate Lions fan, but what made you start as a YouTube creator?
What made me start as a creator was I was on a channel by a guy named Derek P. Fields. I was on his video and I commented on his video, and he was doing this video. He was like, I think he was ranting about Matthew Stafford, and I had pointed out some things, and he asked me to come on and do a show with him. So I was like, okay, let's do it. So I get on and do the show with it. He was like, man, go ahead, man, you should really do this. And I was like, nah, I'm okay. And so my wife was like, no, you really should, because all you do is talk about football anyway. And so I was like, nah, I'm okay. I don't want to do it. So my wife just kept at it. Like, no, I really think you should do this because you really enjoy football. And so what ended up happening was she ended up buying me a mic, and the rest was history.
Aw, so we can thank your wife for all the awesome YouTube content.
Yes, we can. Yep, she supports it 100%. Makes it awesome. So you can't beat that.
I love that. I mean, you know how I feel about football, so her supporting that passion. Is she a football fan too, a Lions fan?
Oh no, she cannot stand football. She'll watch it. It's kind of fun because she'll do stuff like she'll see the game on and she'll walk by and be like, it's 3rd and 1. Why they just didn't run it? I'm like, get out of here. I told you I don't want nobody talking to me when the game is on. Get out of here. But no, she's not a fan of football at all. But she's learning more about it because she knows I am a fan of it. So she learns more about it, and she'll see little things that I'm like, if she understands this, why don't they get it? So yeah, but no, she can't stand football. She's a basketball fan.
All right, so she's got her sport too. And
yep.
What would you say is the overall goal of the content that you create? Like, what's your message?
My overall goal is that it's about perspective and trying to get the bigger picture. So when I drop a video, it's not meant to be as much of a teaching thing, but to kind of bring something to your attention for food for thought. To kind of have you say to yourself, oh, I never thought about that. Or, you know what, I don't agree with him. Let me go and show him this and see if he agree. And then we open the conversation. So ultimately, the goal is to constantly have an open forum where you can see the bigger picture and have a healthy, respectful conversation about sports without taking it so personal or getting upset or being angry or acting as if though you have to be right or you have to be wrong. It's just saying, let's have an open conversation, and then you can have your opinion, I have my opinion, but support your opinion with facts, because mine is going to come with facts, not emotions, but facts. And to me, I wanted it to be something where no matter what happens, the subscribers or the fans or a new YouTuber or old YouTuber, they all can come together and at that one particular forum and just talk sports. It's open to the thing of sports, of football, nothing else. And I for me, it was a getaway. The world has its own fair share of problems. Every day you got to hear about politics. Now you're hearing about this dumb virus. And I just got to a point where I just wanted to talk about that one thing and stick to the topic, which is sports.
Yeah, and for anybody watching this that isn't watching this because you're a fan of the Detroit Sports Alliance or the DSA Roundtable, the Roundtable is a perfect example of exactly what you're talking about. You know, just a bunch of sports fans who love football, go on the show to talk football. We all have different opinions sometimes, but we can relate knowing that we all love this team and nobody's bringing anything over emotional to the table. It's just good fun, and it's talking about the sport that we love.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the roundtable, what makes the roundtable great is we got you on there, which is amazing. But you basically have, it's not a male or a female on the roundtable. It's like you said, it's a bunch of fans who want to talk about this team and have a casual conversation about it. And we do it a whole lot, whether we agree to disagree or agree to agree, we do it respectfully. And that's what it boils down to. A lot of the times you'll look at most of these mainstream media shows and they'll make up all kind of stuff. And then there's nobody to refute it. You see all the fans in the comment section, but you never notice nobody responds to that. DSA is that response. You say something crazy in the media if you want, and we're going to bring it to the light of the people and say why it's wrong and why this is nothing more than a hot take. And to me, that's what makes the Detroit Sports Alliance special. That's what makes sports special. In sports, it doesn't matter what your religion is. It doesn't matter what your skin tone is. It doesn't matter if you're a male or a female, if you're a dog or a cat lover, a motorcycle or a car lover. It's about the sport, and that's what I wanted to bring when I made my channel and what I thought about creating the DSA. Yeah,
and the DSA is absolutely a great place for that. Now, if you guys do watch the DSA roundtables, you might be wondering, as I'm wondering, why do you use Luke Cage as your avatar?
Okay. Okay, so the reason I started using Luke Cage is because first of all, I could not be on screen. Like, I couldn't have my physical face on screen due to my job. And so to stay employed, I said I needed something that represents somewhat some of my ideas. And when you look at the character Luke Cage himself, he is not trying to hide his identity at all. He's not trying to hide it. He is who he is. He's Luke freaking Cage. And the thing about Luke Cage is he's bulletproof. And a lot of the times when you look at that persona, I wanted to have somebody who represented someone who's like me, a strong individual who is able to take whatever you throw at him and keep going. Okay, negative, good, or indifferent, he can take that and keep going. And that to me is Luke Cage. I'm me. I just can't put my face on the camera for purposes of work, but I'm still me. I can take whatever it is that's being dished out. I can take the criticism. I can take the hate. I can take the joy. I can take the happiness. Whatever you give, I can take. And to me, all those things that come at me are like those bullets that come at Luke Cage. He's just a person who is in the neighborhood trying to do something good. I'm a person on YouTube in the neighborhood and community of Lions fans trying to do something good, trying to make it to where, you know, you don't have all these different Lion channels scattered here and there, but one centralized unit of Lions supporters who are prideful and love their Lions team in one centralized place. And that's why I came up with the Detroit Sports Alliance, because I wanted it to be something where Detroit sports fans can come in one community and not have to worry about it. So to me, Luke Cage embodied that. He was one of those people that embodied just being an average old Joe, knew that he had these powers and he wanted to use it for good. And I knew that I knew football, so I did the same thing. That's why I picked Luke Cage.
Man, that is the perfect answer. And I bet nobody has seen Luke G and Luke Cage in the same room either. Am I right?
Nope. And it's probably for a good reason. Trying to make a difference. That's all. Just trying to bring something new and fresh. They won't. The media, mainstream media, is too afraid to give us any shine, and the fan base want it. So I figure, hey, let's do this and try to see if we can bridge all the gaps. That's why it's open to everybody.
Yeah, and I have to give you props. You're absolutely doing a great job. You are the host with the most. And in my reverse scenario right now, where I am hosting you, I want to know if you are ready for our Roarin' Rapid Fire round.
Oh, this is what I'm here for. Let's get it. This is what I'm here for. This is the moment I've been waiting for. Hopefully I can do good, okay?
Okay, awesome. So just to let you know, the Roarin' Rapid Fire round is a series of 10 questions. You have to answer as quickly as possible, 5 seconds max, the first things that pops into your head, okay?
Got it.
Here we go. How many kids does Matthew Stafford have?
4.
Make an attempt at pronouncing Big B's actual last name. Perfect. What is one adjective to describe Matt Patricia?
Oh, tough, I guess.
Who is your most hated NFL team?
The Detroit Lions.
Is Danny Amendola as dreamy as all the girls think he is?
No.
All right, if you're Luke Cage, does She-Hulk's carpet match the drapes?
Oh my God. I hope so. I don't know.
If drafted by the Lions, what position would Luke Cage play?
Linebacker.
Since we can't see you, who is more handsome, you or Mike Coulter, who plays Luke Cage?
Me, hands down. My confidence is high.
Boom. Who would win a fight between the two men that played Daredevil, Ben Affleck or Charlie Cox?
Charlie all day. Charlie will win that battle all day.
Okay, cheese or mustard for your pretzel?
Cheese.
Boom. Rapid fire.
That was worse than I thought. I'm like, did she just ask about the carpets and the drape? Where did that come from? That's awesome. I love it.
Good. I am glad that you had a good time on this show, and I do want to give you another chance to let the viewers know again where they can find you if they're looking for you on all your social media.
First of all, you can check me out at my YouTube channel, Luke G's Fear Review, on Twitter at Phil G's, Instagram at Luke G's Fear Review. I'm working on Facebook. You can go to any of my videos and look in the link and check me out on Discord or at LukeG'sFearReview@gmail.com for email. So I'm an open book, and definitely hit me up and come and join. And if you just want to be a person who joins the round table, or maybe you just want to talk sports, Luke is open to it. Hit him up on any one of those forums and we'll get you on.
You heard him, guys. If you want to join in any of the DSA discussions, make sure you hit up Luke. He will get you on there. We always have a great time. Luke, I want to thank you so much for doing this with me. It was very fun. Do you have any closing words for us?
Oh, absolutely. Listen, people, I think every show should always finish with a positive note. And today's positive quote comes from my little bitty boy who told me, "Hey, Dad, don't take life so serious. You got a lot of time." In other words, just simply remember that the little things that you are passing by, stop and take a moment to enjoy them. And if you can do that, the big things feel even more smaller, making it better for you to live a life. And as always, give you these great pieces of advice that was given to me. Don't be no chump. Please do your research.
Awesome, Luke. And again, thank you so much. You guys, don't forget to hit like on this video. Make sure you subscribe, and make sure you take a look and subscribe at all the other DSA members' channels. Reach out to me on social media to let me know what you think about this interview. If you're looking for me on YouTube or Facebook, you're going to search for RachelMarieSports. On Instagram at RachelMarieSports, and on Twitter at RachelMarieSports. One pride, guys.